Exiles, and welcome back to my first build update for 0.5. Apologize for my lack in getting content ready as I started the leak late and have been trying to catch up. I will have my Tornado build up shortly with 2 variants for both the Shaman and Oracle version again, but when I was testing, just due to the bugs I was experiencing with Tornado with the taming, I decided to pivot into this variant version of my build, which is essentially a walking weather disaster, as you would have seen from the short footage at the start. The idea of this variant is just to flood the screen with all the different types of weather skills that I thought would look visually crazy. We have the main setup as Twister paired with Barrage and Whirling Slash, and then that will trigger a double cast on crit into Tornado, Comet and Firestorms raining from the sky. So this is my build currently. So currently sitting at level 92. All I've done so far is pretty much complete the whole 315, I think it is, points to the Atlas tree, and slowly just working my way through the other content at the moment. As you can see here, so I've got a bit of armor. I did start with energy shield first because I find it's just easier to scale energy shield than it is going into armor stacking. And of course my resistances are a bit average at the moment. So first I would talk about is my gems for the setup. So as I said, we're running a Twister as the main source of damage. So I haven't invested too much into upgrading my gems. Most of my upgrades have actually been to gear and crafting, which I'll go through after. But you can see here, so my Twister is only level 18. And I've got it just paired with Projectile Acceleration 3, Salvo, Frost Nexus, Prolonged Duration 2, and Pinpoint Critical, just to help with that crit hit chance. So at the moment my critical overall is at 27.98. Now ideally you want to at least get 40% if you're running the Oracle Ascendancy, the inevitable critical strikes. Ideally 40% is going to be, probably the best thing to aim for. And then I have my Frost Bomb as well, mainly for the exposure, which is really nice. And I also get my Cold Infusion from picking up the remarks from that one there as well. So that there's just paired with my Overabundance 1, Spell Cascade, Short Fuse, Harmonic Remarks, and Frost Nexus as well. And then we have Whirling Slash, which is just paired with Rapid Attacks 3, Efficiency 3, Magnifying Effect 2, Punch Through, and Blind 2. So the way essentially the build works is, for those who haven't seen the Twister build before, you pretty much are running into the pack, spamming your Twisters, your Whirling Slash. Now Twister actually absorbs the effects from Whirling Slash, so as you're doing your Whirling Slash, you just click your Barrage and then into your Twisters, and you can see here that the screen floods with Twisters. Now because there's so many Twisters happening at once, it's very quick and easy to proc your cast on critical, which is hitting every 3 or 4 hits, sometimes sooner depending on how many mobs are in the area. The good thing as well, with some bosses in tight areas, because the Twisters bounce off walls as well, so you're pretty much just nuking bosses, which is really nice. Now I still have my Element Weakness. It's not really needed, but the reason why I use it is just for the tornado scaling. and I'll get into that in a minute. But just my elemental weakness is just paired with burning description just to get that burning fire. And then I've got the spell cascade, focus curse, and then efficiency 2. And then barrage, which allows us to use repeats the twister skill, so we get 12 at a time, and that's just supported with prolonged duration, cooldown recovery, efficiency, and rapid casting. Then of course we have our elemental conflux, which is I think the best thing for the build, because it just cycles through one element at a time and really gives a boost with it. And then there's just with my prolonged duration, lightning mastery, and mysticism. Ideally I want to get a Dialer's Desire for that last socket, but I just can't, they have enough divines to invest in that just yet. And then of course we've got our Covenantance, which has got second wind, cooldown recovery, and prolonged duration. I'm still running my Quadrilla. Once again, this is for just priorly for the tornado, and because it gives here the travel lightning effect, and I got to that paired with Frost Nexus, Erosion Ground, Persistent Ground 1, and Brutish Brain. The Erosion Ground, as I've mentioned before, so pretty much is you can't see it at the moment, but when my Quadrilla goes into a pack, or it's in a certain radius of a monster, it leaves lightning trail as a massive ground effect, which you might have seen in the videos earlier, and that there just helps with the suction of tornado, getting that lightning element to it as well. And then at the moment, as I am also running Herald of Thunder, which is good. It's just helping boost clearing for mapping and stuff. It works really well with Twister, since it floods up the screens, and then Herald of Lightning just comes down and rains kind of thing, which looks really good. And that's just paired with Elemental Focus, Concentrated Area, Execute, and then Culling Strike. So I'm running 2 cast on critical on that at the moment. So only one is costing Spirit Reservation, the other one I'm getting from my amulet from the Breach crafting tree. So just this one here, this is my main one at the moment. So I just got that paired with Tornado, Firestorm, Callisting Elements, and then my Boundless Energy and Energy Retention. So pretty much this procs like every 3 hits. It's very quick and it works very well. And then my main cast on critical, my second cast on critical is just from my amulet, and that's just with Comet, Firestorm, Living Bomb for the infusions, Energy Retention, and then Boundless Energy too. I do have this Asmarian Wolf as well, from the Sarvan's Effigy. This was something I was really excited for and was kind of hoping it would have worked the way I wanted it to, but unfortunately it didn't. So I pretty much just got it there for the spirit, because it gives really high nice spirit, which is very nice. But that's all I use it for really. I was hoping that the skill from the wolves and stuff would help with ground alignments, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. It didn't help with anything, so I kind of just put that aside. Now in terms of my gear, so I'll start with the amulet. So that would be the biggest thing. So you can see there it grants level 20 cast on critical, which allows me to run that second cast on critical without costing any spirit reservation. So that's the biggest thing with that there. And of course, it comes as a level 20 as well, so you don't have to worry about upgrading it. The only thing you can't do is give it quality. So you can get it from global modifiers, but you can't grab a prism and upgrade that either, which is a bit unfortunate, but it still works very well. And then just with this as well, obviously the main thing is spirit, and then crit hit chance as well to get that critical chance up. And then as I mentioned, so all my spells, so my frost bomb, elemental weakness, they all run on my swap 2, which is this one here. So it's just running the 1, so I'm getting the extra spell skills to just boost up the level of them, as you can see here, 28, 27 and all that. And then on my weapon swap 1, which is my main setup, so I've got just a normal scepter here, and that's once again just for the spirit. Ideally you can probably best running an omen scepter, which would be nice, but this is just something I had when I was leveling, and I'm just something I'm going to keep for now until I swap to full tornado. And as you can see here, my Herald Thunder just runs on my swap 1 because that's where all my damage comes from anyway. So just with your spear, the main thing to look for is the attack speed. The higher attack speed, the better, as well as higher crit hit chance. I think the max crit hit chance is 15 or 16%. Ideally, that's something we want to aim for. The damage is not too important unless you want to really invest into a high damage twister. Ideally though, what I was trying to do is just scale as much spell damage as I can, so my cast and critical skills that are proccing is where my main source of damage comes from, and then this twister is just pretty much to start the trigger engine. And then of course I got my Crown of Eyes, which, you know, all my increased spell damage applies to my attacks, which is why my twister is a lot stronger than it would be normally. So that way I can actually scale and stack more spell damage than I have to do with you know, attack damage and physical attack damage and all that. Now with my rings do need upgrades, but at the moment I'm just running these just purely for the fire resis, which is really nice. And of course I need attributes because it's a hybrid build, so I need a lot of strength, intelligence and dex. So that's why I have to run a dual stat ring. Ideally, if I wasn't running, you know, wanting the vertex to get rid of the whole cost reservation, the attribute reservations from the skills, which would be nice. And just with this as well, just with my other ring, so pretty much similar, mainly resis and then dex as well. And then I did run it with an unset ring, so I can have the additional skill socket, and that's just so I can run my Herald of Thunder here. Now, ideally, like I said, you don't actually have to run Quadrilla or Element Weakness. The only reason why I have these two is so the reason why I'm getting my alignment effect here and not running a taming is because I made a lore weave with the taming modifiers on it. So as you can see there, my wind skills, which can be boosted by elemental ground surface, can be boosted by multiple, and then wind skills which can be boosted count as being boosted by the 3 of them. So ideally, the main things with this one here was the onslaught for every kill, which is really nice. It helps with mapping really quick, and then the taming ring for the triple element. The only thing that is missing from this that I would have liked or preferred is the 7% to quality of all skills, which would just be really nice, especially for the elemental conflux. But what I've also found as well, running the taming or a lore weaver here, it actually doesn't affect tornado on a cast on critical. So when my cast on critical triggers my tornado, it will just be a plain tornado. It doesn't get the actual effects from this, which is why I'm running the Quadrilla and the element weakness, so that way there I'm still getting the ground alignments, and then when it triggers that, the pretty much the tornado will pick up those ground alignments on the ground. Now I'm running my Chevron Satchel, that's purely for just, you know, getting life regen. Even though energy shield does regen by itself after 4 seconds, but it is very slow, and you know, if you're running out of your stacks of this here, you're pretty much screwed. So that's the reason why I'm running this. So ideally you can run an additional better belt, but I find this works best for me. And then full boots, as always, you just want to stack as much resi as you can, and then ideally the more energy shield or movement speed is always nice as well. So you can see there that all my resis on this one is over 40%, and then I have a decent energy shield on this one as well. And then with my gloves, I'm not too sure what I wanted to put here. I was trying to work out if I was going to put Doja's Stitch gloves again for the 100% spell damage. I was also thinking putting like a 2+ to projectile skills to help Twister out as well, but at the moment I just ran with this here just for the resis mainly, and just a little bit of damage. This helped me get through maps, so I wasn't looking at upgrading it until I swap anyway. So now I'd like to talk about the skill tree. So the main thing in this one here is, of course, the inevitable critical strikes. So that way there you don't have to stack as much critical on your gear. And then of course the walks the path not taken. The reason why I went this route here is, of course, this powerful casting, which is 2% increased spell damage per 10 strength. Now ideally, you know, I would like to stack more strength. So I only got 369 at the moment, but it does make a big difference. As well as we're running the this heroic strategy timeless jewel as well, which also gives the additional energy shield per 2 strength, which is really nice. The reason why we have so much energy shield, and you know, don't require so much in our gear to rely on that. Now my passive tree is kind of all over the place at the moment. The biggest thing is on this side of the tree here, which is all this meta skill energy. So casting critical runs on meta skills, or meta energy, sorry, and pretty much this just helps it proc faster. Ideally, once I get more critical strike or crit hit chance, I will be dropping all these and investing it in other places. But that's just how it is as well, and you do get some nice benefits. As you can see here, 40% increased damage once if you trigger the skill recently. So that 40% is pretty much on all the time, because I'm constantly triggering casting critical, which is really nice. Of course, as my previous tornado build was running against the timeless diamond here for the spirit and increased strength, which is really nice. And to just get these 8 nodes here, you're pretty much just wanting to get the resonance and hollow palm technique there, so you can allocate these 4 here, which gives quite a bit, which is really good. And then over here as well, so I'm just slowly working my way down to get more strength down here. Ideally, when I swap to the Oracle version of the tornado, I will be strength stacking again, so I'm trying to aim down here to get more of my strength nodes, which is good. You still want to run your Prism Belief +3. I am investing a little bit into additional armor and invasion energy shield up here as well. And then at the moment, like I mentioned, I've been doing a lot of crafting. So I've been crafting quite a few jewels at the moment that will benefit tornadoes mainly. So as you can see here, it's got really high spell damage and elemental damage, which gives really nice damage boost. And then ideally, you can run the 2% increased strength on all the jewels. When you're strength stacking, it makes a big difference. And I'm pretty much trying to get all my jewels like that at the moment, as you can see there. So once again, this one doesn't have the elemental damage, but I did get maximum energy shield, which is also really nice, because when you're strength stacking, it's really hard to build up your energy shield on your main weapon, so you're constantly flicking back and forth. So these are the biggest thing at the moment. And like I said, so this was just a variant of my actual build, and it's just pretty much to create as much chaos as I can on the screen. But I will be pivoting back to tornado once I finished this video here. So once again, thank you everyone for your support. And if anyone has any questions, you know, feel free to add me as well. I'm happy to answer and help out where I can.